Let us start the experiment. First, we'll see the audio generator output, that is sine wave. Take the probe and connect to this point sine wave generator output. You can see the sine wave coming here. Let us measure it. The peak to peak coming here is 2-volt peak to peak, which is selected through this amplitude knob. The frequency of the signal comes to 1.2 kHz, which is set from this frequency knob from the audio generator block. Now we'll connect this sine wave output to the PCM modulator input. As I told you, there are two test points. One is RAM signal and second is PCM output. Let us first understand the RAM signal. This signal shows us number of quantization levels for 3-bit and 4-bit PCM. So here first I have selected 3-bit PCM and you can see the quantization levels here. You can see here number of quantization level and let us measure them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The number of quantization levels we have observed for 3-bit PCM is 8. Now let us measure the TS time period. As you know, from this point to this point, this is one sampling interval, that is TS. Let us measure through cursor. Now you can see here TS between those two sampling points is 47 microsecond and the frequency comes to be 20.89 kHz. That means TS here is 47 microsecond and frequency we observe here is 20.890 kHz. Now let us try to measure the delta V, that means the maximum separation between two quantization levels. So let us select the cursor to the amplitude. To measure it accurately, I have increased the volts per division for that and I have set it exactly in the middle of the quantization level. Now let us take this. Let us bring the second. You see here the maximum separation between two quantization level comes to be 250 millivolt. And you are aware of the maximum quantization noise can be delta V by 2. That means if you go for 3-bit PCM, that means 8 quantization level, with this trainer we are going to find out the maximum quantization noise to be 125 millivolt for 3-bit PCM. Now let us see the RAM signal for 4-bit PCM. Now I am selecting from the bit select knob. The number of quantization levels for 4-bit PCM can be observed here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That means number of levels for 4-bit PCM observed to be 16. TS remains the same, and now the delta V we have to measure here. What is delta V, which will give us the maximum quantization noise that can be found with 4-bit PCM. Let us bring the cursor again. Yeah, and here you can see the delta V found to be 125 millivolt. This is 2-volt peak to peak divided by 16 comes to 125 millivolt, and this matches to the exact value, and that we can see that the delta V for the 4-bit PCM, that means 16 level, is 125 millivolt and maximum quantization noise can be delta V by 2, that is 75 millivolt. Now let us observe the PCM signal. Now as I have connected this sine wave output to the PCM modulator input, directly we can observe here the PCM signal. You see, this is my PCM output. As I have applied sine wave here, the bits are continuously changing. That's why you can see this changing bits in a beat pattern. Let us stop the signal to observe it more clearly. Now let us understand the PCM signal. As I told you, here we have make 16-bit frame length. So from this point to this point, I got one frame length, that is 1 TS period. Let me bring the cursor for you. You see here, this is the one sampling interval. It comes to 47 microsecond here, and I have told you here this is TS, and 1 by TS comes to 20 kilohertz. So this is the duration of 16 bits, as I told you earlier. Out of the 16 bits, here 4 bits is my data. Let us see how it is look like. From this point to this point, there are first 8-bit high level sync, and from this point to this point there are 2 start bits, and from this point to the next 4 bits are data. Here I can read it like 1 0 0 1, and then this last 2 are the stop bits. That means from this point to this point I have got 16 bits. First 8 bits, those are high bits, are my high level sync. Then after this high level sync, I have got 2 low start bits, and after that I have got PCM data sample 1 0 0 1. Now as the 4 bits are selected here, we have used 16 quantization levels. That's why each sample getting represented by 4 bits 1 0 0 1 here. And then I have got these 2 stop bits. After that this repeats. So let us see here. You can see here the first the first TS, second TS, and then third TS, and you can see that the bits are coming here, here, and here. I hope you understood the 4-bit PCM output. Now let us try to observe the 3-bit PCM output. Now let me explain you what is this 3-bit PCM output and how to read it. Again, you can see here, this is my TS. It comes to 48.20 microsecond, and I have the frame length is same for 3-bit also and 4-bit also here, that is 16 bits. Out of the 16 bits, my first 8 bits are high level sync, then 2 bits are start bit, and data starts from here, that is 1 0 0, and then here are the 3 stop bits. Now you may ask me, how is the difference here? The difference between 4-bit PCM and 3-bit PCM is this here, that the stop bit here are 3 bits, data, I got start bit 2 bits, then data, and then 3-bit stop bits. To make it more clear or to make your decision more accurate, I request you to measure here from this point to this point the width of 8 bits. Let us find out that. The duration of the 8 bits comes to 24 microsecond. That means for 1 bit it takes 3 microsecond. Now if you want to make it more clear that how many bits are here, you can see here from this point, see here, this distance is 6 microsecond. That means these are 2 zeros, and that is that they are start bits. Now here onwards my data starts 1 0 0, and then rest you can see the 3 off bits, that is 8-bit high level sync, then 2-bit start, and then data, and then 3-bit stop. So hope you understand the 3-bit PCM output and 4-bit PCM output. You see the samples are different here. Here the data is, you can see here now, for this sample, how I will read this data, being a 3-bit data, I will read it 0 1 1, and these 3 bits are stop bits. So this data is 0 1 1. 8-bit high level sync, 2-bit starts, and then there is another 3rd bit which is low, that is I will take it as a sample value 0 1 1. So hope you understood how PCM output looks like for 3-bit and 4-bit PCM. Please understand, we have to again, from this point to this point, there are 16 bits. This represents 1 TS period, and that once you understand that, then you will not do any mistake here. Now let us connect the PCM output to the input of the modulator. Now I have connected PCM output to PCM demodulator. And now I will let us observe the staircase approximated signal. At this point, this is called raw data. I will use second probe to see that how staircase approximated signal looks with the input. Now what I did, I have connected PCM output to PCM demodulator, and now I have used second probe and connected at the raw data point of the PCM demodulator. Now let us see the waveforms. I am making the second channel on, and you can see here that my raw data started coming and it is staircase approximated signal. You can see here, you can see from this place that this is my analog input signal and this is my staircase approximated output, and you can see the output or the raw data is following the input sequence. Now as it is a 3-bit PCM, you can see here different quantization levels, and the delta V is quite large here. So let us observe the raw data for 4-bit PCM, and you can see the considerable difference between number of staircase approximated steps here, and you can see now the steps have increased, and you can see here the approximation is more nearer to the as input signal. Now the last step remains, which is to observe the low pass filter output. Now as you are aware of, this signal consists of high frequency components. Will block those high frequency components and will pass only those frequency components which are less than FM hertz can be seen here on the low pass filter output. You can see here perfectly the recovery signal. This is my recovered signal, this is my transmitted signal, and you can see here the reconstruction is quite well as compared to 3-bit PCM. Now let me show you the 3-bit PCM output. You see the distortion here is higher, the reconstruction quality is less in 3-bit, and if you make it 4-bit, you can see there is a considerable difference between the recover output between 3-bit and 4-bit. So this is a 4-bit PCM, this is 4-bit demodulated output, and this is for 3-bit PCM demodulated output. So hope you have noticed the difference between the recovered output between 3-bit PCM and 4-bit PCM. Now hope every one of you understood the pulse code modulation and demodulation process. We have observed all the test points here. Now we have observed the PCM modulation and demodulation with the sine wave input. Now let us observe the PCM modulation and demodulation using variable DC as an input. Now I am connecting variable DC from this block to the input of modulator. The main reason to give this input to see quantization process in detail. So let us see. You can see here now. Now when I gradually increase my DC hold from 0 volt, you see here what is happening. So this is my PCM output. I have selected 3-bit PCM and applying variable DC. Now gradually I am increasing the DC voltage here, and you can see here first LED blown up, and you can see here the first binary bit is getting represented in the waveform. So let us read that waveform. How will you read this waveform? As I told you, from this point to this point there is a one frame of 16 bits. Out of the 16 bits, first 8 bits are my high level sync, and then I got 2 start bits and then 3 stop bits. So here data is 0 0 1 0 0 1, and here these 3 are the stop bits because I am using 3-bit PCM. So you can see here now we will gradually increase the voltage again for to some, and we'll see whether the output can be changed here. Yeah, you can see now the difference here. Now the output here is 0 1 0. Now as I gradually increase the voltage, you can see the difference here 0 1 0. Similarly, when I increase it to maximum level, you can see, I will show you here the output for maximum DC voltage. When that means it is It is getting quantized to highest quantization level from this RAM signal. Okay, you can see that I have got 3 ones here. How I will read? 8-bit high level sync, then 2-bit start, then 3-bit data, and then 3-bit stop bits. Now you will see LEDs are all the LEDs are on 1 1 1. Here I can see 1 1 1. Now let us go for 4-bit PCM. Obviously I will make first the 0 input. You see now no LED is glowing here, and you see this is my 1-bit frame, TS interval 47 microsecond, and you can see there is 8-bit high level sync and all 0 bits, 2-bit start, 4-bit 0, and then 2-bit stop. Now let us see, if we increase the voltage gradually, I get the data 8-bit high level sync, 2-bit start, 0 0 0 1. My data is 0 0 0 1. 0 0 0 1. So hope you understand how now, because all the samples are quantized to same quantization level, that's why these LEDs can the other LEDs are off and this LED is on. For analog input, all these LEDs seems to be glowing all the time, because though they are switching between 0 to 1, but we can't see them, and that's why when sine wave input is applied, they all seems to be on. But here now you can see clearly that is changing. Now let us take another example. Okay, now I will show you. Now see, now I applied the highest voltage and I have given all ones here. You can see here on the LED there are 4 ones here, and let us see here how output is coming. Now you can see here 8-bit high level sync, 2-bit start, 1 1 1 1 and 2 zeros. So I have got 4 ones here. Same are assembled here, 1 1 1 1, 4 ones here, 4 ones. This is how this variable DC helps us to understand the quantization process in minute detail. And now hope every one of you understood how to perform this experiment using sinusoidal input and using variable DC as an input. Thanks.